Welcome to Massive Beers. My name's Matt, and we do the funnerest of beer stuffs here. Our favorite beer stuffs, mystery beers. Yeah, this mystery beer comes courtesy of my buddy Chris from Wisconsin. It's a father-son duo. His son Cameron has sent me off some beers. Dad has followed suit. He's the one who turned his son on to my channel, so thank you very much, Chris. And he sent me off some mystery beers. 3 to be total. One I already did. My boy Keith from 92 Lumber. This one, it's not one, but 2 mystery beers. Yeah, doing one of these battle mystery beers, I guess they call them. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, side by sides. That's what I'll call them. I'm kind of curious to see what these suckers behold. So let's dive into it. Mystery beers are basically sound exactly what they're like. We have no idea what they are. So I'm going to give these a crack. We'll review them side by side, and we'll see what's what. We'll see. Let's do the old double pour. Okay. Hazies. The one on this side, which would be your number 1, much more hazy. Not nearly as clear as the other one. Not that the other one's overly clear, but it might be a little bit hard to tell. You might be able to see, but this one over here very much has a murkier density to it. Ripping my Star Wars glasses. Those are the only 2 clean ones I had that are pairs. So, man, this thing is... You're probably not going to be able to tell it. Maybe if I bring it in and out of light a little bit, I'm not sure. But, yeah, they both look like big old hazies. This one has a little bit more of a kind of soapier head to it. This one has a bit more of a denser body. But they both look quite nice. Let's get a nose on this sucker. Not a big hop presence here. You know it's hazy. I know by looking at it and its turbidity and whatnot, I'm kind of thinking it's going to be eking up there into that double-ish range. But on the nose, hop presence, nothing too explosive. A little bit of sweet citrus, a little bit of sweet, peachiness, kind of running the gamut. All the fruits are belong to us kind of thing. A little bit of fluttering kind of greenness to it. And done. Not a big beer as far as the nose goes. It smells nice. Let's see, number 2 over here. Something going on over here. I don't know what it is. It's weird. There's almost like a medicinalness, like a minty medicinal thing, like almost like a spearmint gummy kind of thing going over here that I'm not really all that used to when it comes to what I assume is a hazy IPA. There's a soft oatiness to it too. You can tell it's a hazy, but there's just something a little bit kind of, at least on the nose, a little bit kind of out of normalcy, for the lack of a better term, on this sucker. Yeah, interesting. Let's dive in. Number 1. Cheers, y'all. It's tasty. Nice hop presence. Definitely an IPA. I'm pretty sure, based off first sip, it's double IPA. I might take that back. It has an impact to it, but it drinks a little thinner, especially for how dense it looks. So it might be kind of towing that line. It might be in that like low to mid 7s, where you can kind of flirt between IPA to double IPA. I don't really get much, if any, lactose in it, but it has that soft little oaty thing going on. So it's either a heavy oat addition or very, very light lactose addition. Very citrus leaning with a hefty dollop of both stone and tropical fruits. Knee jerk, I mean, that bitterness, the zip of the bitterness makes me think it's aggressively up. So it's probably a DDH beer. But I want to go lower now. Kind of want to go like low 6s now, like a 6.2%. Anyway, 6.2% DDH beer. Let's see what we got going on over here. Cheers. This is very it just kind of falls a little bit flat. Not carbonation wise, that's fine. It's more the flavor. You know, when you put battle beers together, my thought process is they're two kind of similar beers, or they have some kind of bisecting kind of cousinry to it, and you're trying to discern what's going on. This to me comes off a little bit more which one tastes better. This one over here for sure. Yeah, it is much softer of a beer too, as far as mouthfeel goes. Like the carbonation's fine, but it has this kind of water chemistry thing. It has the beer come off as like you almost want this kind of luscious, creamy, satiny thing. When it comes to IPAs, this comes off with like a heavy oat addition in combination with the soft water to where it's very, very soft, so it lacks that little bit of snappiness. You can tell there's a decent amount of hops in it. They've run a little bit generic. You know, like there's almost like where I say over here, it's very much running the gamut of those fruits, you know, citrus leading way, but you get those two other main components when it comes to the fruit. Over here, it's like super muddled to where you lose the impact of the beers altogether, or the hops altogether. There's a bitterness. It's generic, but there's not much to it. So it comes off a bit soft, too soft for a hazy IPA. ABV, I'd probably say it's closer to, like what I said, but this one, towards the end, like probably low sixes. Let me jump back over here real quick. And you can just, the way the water chemistry comes off on this, the way the beer shows itself, the way the hops show itself. This is a much better beer over here. This is a very hard ABV to work out. I'm assuming it's going to be close to this one. So I'm going to go 6.5. And I'm going to say this is someone's DDH 6.5% hazy. What do we have over here? My best guess, and this is based off assumptions, it might be Chris's homebrew of a beer that he really enjoys. So my guess is here that there's a 6.5%. I'm getting like Toppling Goliath vibes over here. I don't think it's a Toppling Goliath beer for one specific reason. Top of this can, there's nothing there. So I think they fully wrap their cans. But I'm toppling Goliath, like kind of like pseudo sui, but a little bit bigger, something along those lines, kind of vibes. So I'm thinking this is like somewhere 6.5% hazy IPA, kind of like just a beer that maybe Chris really enjoys, and then this is his homebrew homage or something similar to that effect. Could be wrong. Let's see what this one is. Trillium. Okay. This is their Sturrowed. It's 8.4, so I was a complete 2% off on this. I'm very surprised by this. The last several Trillium beers that I've had have been super carbonic forward. And while I'm not going to say that doesn't exist here, it's not stark enough to where I'm going to like call it out. Double India Pale Ale. 8.4, completely off on this one as far as ABV. It is 4 months old. No, 2 months old. 2 months old, sorry. That shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, I like this quite a bit, man. It's been a while since I had a Trillium beer, so that's kind of fun. And what do we have over here? We have electrical tape. So there must be something they're trying to... Oh, no, he's just trying to keep the thing on. There's nothing. Okay. We have Chris's Homebrew. This is hazy with 100% chance of hops, New England style IPA. Citra, Eldorado, Mandarina, Bavaria. 9.1%. 9.1% IPA. There's no date on here. So it's Brick and Mortar Brewing Company. That's Chris's homebrew. Built for beer, store cold, drink fresh. You're going to have to give me a date on this, brother. I don't see one on here. I doubt, being. I keep calling it homebrew. Maybe I shouldn't. You know what I mean? I just assumed it was homebrew, and I said that in another review. So if it's somewhere above homebrew, I apologize. But there's a government warning on there. But yeah, I mean, it kind of comes off. Even though I've totally boofed the ABVs on both of these, I think the whole theme of going through the beers kind of rang true, at least based off of what I said, which was, this is probably a brewery that, Chris really does enjoy. You want to know how I know that? Because he's in Wisconsin. If he's ripping Trilliums in Wisconsin, he's getting them on purpose. So, it's probably something close in ABV, 8.5 versus 9.1. And honestly, we probably wanted feedback. How does my beer stack up to a Trillium beer or a more well-known beer? And, to me, it was, the story of two very different beers. And it's weird, because you don't want to poop on some of these beers. They're mystery beers, so that's how that rolls. And we're not dealing with a negative beer over here. I just think there's, it's hard to make hazies really well. Especially the higher ABV ones. I think that middle 6 ground is really where they shine. That's why I thought this one was that, because I thought it was really, really well. So my brain kind of de-evolved to 6.5%, I guess. So it's more like, I think if I drink this beer separate from this, I don't hold it up to as high and aggressive. What's the word? Marking tentpole, but at the same time there's room to grow, and I think that's what every home brewer obviously knows. Sometimes they need to hear it. Well, not a bad beer, not a negative beer. It does have something lack a little bit of chutzpah, especially when you're talking about 9.1%. You're talking about the guy who wants his ABV to really kind of speak to him, and you're talking about a 9.1%. At that point, it's a triple IPA to me. I just wanted to scream with its hair on fire, and it just doesn't do that over here. Now, there's no date on it. How old is this? Yada, yada, yada. It's very hard to kind of rein in oxygen on a homebrew setup / small brewery setup. So it could be just, being done dirty by just, negative oxygen canning. Again, I'll stop trying to talk my way out of being mean. I like that beer better. We gotta do a Goovy though. For the beer patrols of the Joes. They taste like, I actually think this might work really well. Because there is the bittering, that carbonic thing I talked about in here. Not super aggressive, but it's there. Might get softened a little bit. Might get a little bit kind of funner. Yeah, that's fun. That's not too bad. It loses a little bit of zip on its fastball over here. But with that added bitterness, a little bit more kind of hardness to it. That softness over here. Which, let me know what this is brewed with. Because it tastes like there's a heavy oat addition over here. And I think it's a water chemistry thing. It's not crisp, clean, or not clean. I shouldn't say bad wording. Not as crisp, not as chemistry water to where maybe you're just using straight water or plain water, not kind of tweaking it. I'm curious to see where you got with this, just for the information below, so people when they read this or watch this, they can know. Anyway, but yeah, fun side by side. Mystery beers are always fun, so thank you very much, brother. Had a blast. Had a very much a fantastical blast doing these, and hopefully you learn something, because I think that's what the whole reason for these are. Oh, my little Lindsay thing isn't working. I forgot I cleaned it. I gotta watch this. You want to see something cool? Watch my glasses. My screens went away. My glasses. There you go. My little polarizing filter. I forgot to adjust. Anyway, that's my lights. Those things you see there. So, I'm staring at my screens. Can't see them. Anyway, so there you go. Mystery beer in the books. We're good 15 minutes in, so let's call it quits. There you go. Mystery beer in the books. Very fun. Thank you very much for putting yourself out there. That's the other part of it. As a brewer, you know what I mean? Putting yourself out there as a home brewer, to somebody who just yammers on the YouTubes about beer. That takes some marbles. But to do it as a side-by-side, battle beers versus a brewery that has been touted as one of the best hazy breweries, that's really big marbles. So just from that standpoint, fucking chef's kiss to you, Chris. So there you go. Mystery beer in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you ever want to send them off, feel free. Reach out in the old social medias, massivebeers@gmail.com or matt@massivebeers.com. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.